And of course, we only can have one team that will qualify from this EU portion. Maps, Train, Overpass, Mirage. Dust, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Last match was quite a show, particularly the first two maps. Last map was a bit of a bummer, but definitely a fun series and cool to see an upset. And then today we basically have the former major champions, right? I mean, just defending champs just came out of that, but they just made a roster move as well. Kind of two moves, to be fair. Fitch comes in for Zeus, but also the in-game leadership shift to Adren. Then, of course, you have Big, who also made noise at the major. Not quite as much as Gambit, but they had a great group stage performance. And in general, they've been impressing lately. Obviously took the scalp of Nip yesterday, which isn't a bad look for them either. So we'll see what they are made of here as we come on Train, which is pretty common ground, I imagine. Both teams comfortable playing it.
Yeah, I'm pretty curious to see how this game's going to come down, because I feel like it's actually quite hard for me to predict. I could really see this going down to a third mapper as well, to be honest. I think it could go the distance. Wait, you're on the server?
Yeah, what's up?
Mine just isn't working. GG.
Good to do info. As I will take this over while you do that, as we do see the next also with the boost, able to get the Hosea down. So Big is just getting a couple of free kills at this moment. Hobbit does finally respond to kill on the Townsend at Ivy, but it is going to be a 4-on-3 as Big start rolling into that inner bomb site. There is one player left to defend. It's going to be Adren, who has still not really seen any action just yet, as we can see Big kind of hugging the sidewalk, but now they'll press out, and Adren delivers with the USP. A couple of headshots, looking for a third, finds it. And so it was looking pretty good there for a moment for Big, but Adren shuts it down, and that's the first round going over to Gambit.
Yeah, I just caught the tail end of that. I had to reconnect, of course. Had some issues with my client, but all good now.
I'll just do play-by-play if you want. It's no big deal. You can color cast. You down?
Go for it. Yeah,
no, definitely not.
After 12 hours of play-by-play casting yesterday, my voice is wrecked, mate.
Nah,
so
keep going.
I'm totally down for some Dust play-by-play.
No one else is, though.
Trig. Leggy has been tagged up from a scout. And finished off by Mo. That nade has got damage written all over it. It's going to take down Keith. There was Nex also in close proximity. It could be a double nade for the second round. But Godby and Nex, last two remaining terrorists. Godby's claimed himself a kill and the UMP. It's unlikely they're going to get a great deal more done from this. Or hold on a second. Nex had one of the best performances I've seen from him in recent memory yesterday. And he's picked up 2-1 deeks. It looks like he's going to be flanked out from Adren. Very unlucky. Nice try. Taking the 4 players that look like they're going to get completely swept away. Not bad at all.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be decisive at first, but then Nex definitely made that interesting with the Eagle there with a couple of kills at the end. So kind of a scrappy round. But when it's all said and done, Gambit do come out on top. They'll keep those SMGs in play on 3 of their players. Look to farm a bit more cash. It's Big. Have a lot less to work with in this round, and they should be a lot less threatening due to that. You do see them bringing that bomb over towards the inner bomb sites. Fitch going to get aggressive here on T-Connector. Oh, Tabson makes him pay for it with the Deagle. Hobbit looking to press Ivy. Is Tabson going to make him pay as well? The answer? Yes.
This guy's such a monster. UMP now picked up. Aggression by Doja. They're going to line up for him. That UMP could be good for more than 1 kill. It will dart away. Mo, in the meanwhile, peeks out through Ivy. Will claim the kill onto the weakened Tabson. Fitch claims himself an assist. Not like it could be Big once again. Breaking some of the Gambit hearts, but some order has been maintained. Towards B. We'll see the action. Doja. Back of the side. Making quite a lot of noise though. They may think it's a fake, to be fair. Godby was spraying his block. Now Doja comes in for 1 in a second. Not going to be able to deny the bomb plant. But the round is theirs all the same. Bomb plant will afford more opportunities next round for Big. But they are going to go 3-0 behind.
Indeed. Gambit, though, doesn't bleed out too much. I mean, they retained 3 players. It could have been much worse. I mean, there was definitely some damage being done there by Big. But Big got the main goal accomplished in a round like that, where you basically have nothing invested, which is getting a bomb plant thanks to the Deagle picks of Tabson and the rotates they force off the back of it. We will have Big getting the op into Keeve's hands. He was so brilliant yesterday in finding opening picks with it. Definitely very fast firing speed, very flashy player to watch. At times inconsistent, but still, like I said, a fun player to watch and definitely can have impact. As Big have a lot of options to work with on this map. They are quite diverse in how they can approach tactics. This time around, they have Legia down ladder very quickly. No inner halls presence whatsoever. Since they like outer is definitely the goal.
It's one of those maps where you're really looking at Keeve to lay down some serious work with York once he starts to get it. And his glass cannon yet to find a kill so far on the map. Moen meanwhile has an AWP of his own. Bomb dropped outside of T main. Slow and steady thus far for Big.
And they're just trying to give time for Keeve to work the AWP. Again, they don't really have any Brown Halls presence, though, so I feel like they are kind of firmly committed to eventually going outer unless they shuffle Legia back up the ladder. But now even Tabson has dropped in as well, so the outer split is definitely on the horizon with 40 seconds left.
Mo's going to alleviate the pressure with 2 kills. Tabson the second, and a third as well onto Legia. This round is all but done. He's at least going to get 1 kill for his trouble, but not just a kill, but a potential AWP, or 2 AWPs actually. They can't quite get their hands on both the AWPs. Mo obviously dropped 1, and so did Keeve, but they're going to keep the 1 AWP in play. I actually don't mind that decision, considering they realise that Big likely will have some kind of pistol buy. So double AWPs can get overrun, one of the downsides of them.
Yeah, the Mexican didn't seem to have much bite behind it. I didn't really see much utility coming out. I know they had that 1 smoke on connector, but that was really about it. So it was kind of easy pickings for Mo's AWP, as well as the rifles of Gambit to just kind of pick them apart. But Legia gets a 1-dig on the Dozia, tries to run down to grab the gun, but Adrin is there to catch him, so it won't go too much further than that, but does at least give them a little bit of something to work with, as they do get a couple of players down into ladder room once more. Now, they are way far away from the bomb. They're still in T spawn.
Yeah, they have time, so not a great rush, but as you say, bomb's nowhere near. Hobbit knows there's another player there, still don't exist in this game. Have to be boosted up over the box.
Trying to boost over the smoke as well at ladder room. Not going to find it. Will be forced just to run out now, and Fitch will line them up. So easy pickings for Gambit. They'll come up with this round very clean. They'll get the 5-0 start, and they'll start banking out some cash as well.
Yeah, this has seemed all too easy for Gambit. These last couple of rounds have just been fairly straightforward. The last 3 rounds, they've only lost 5 players. That's why some of their funds are starting to boom nicely. Big, of course, with full round loss bonus, will be able to afford another AWP. But I agree, I think the last buy that we saw was fairly lackluster. We didn't see any kind of execution, no real pushes behind nades. So I want to see more of that from Big. When you have a team leader like God B, you're expecting those plays to come in.
Yeah, he's definitely good at playing default and mid-rounding. There's no doubt about that. But also, Gabi has been known to have some pretty nifty little executes and pacing changes he can throw in there. Some good utility usage. One of those guys, kind of like even in Existence, who does have like these heavy utility executes that not necessarily is very common in other teams. So I'll be curious to see if any of that comes into fruition, as they are going to go for a heavy ladder setup once more. But Hobbit, he's getting up close. He's got an Incendiary. That could spell a lot of trouble for Big. They're forced to extinguish it.
Yeah, an early nades in Pop Dog obliterated God B and Tabs. Bomb's been planted in amongst the chaos of the smoke on the site. Connector on the site itself. Hobbit is residing on the side of red. Here comes God B. Forcing his way in first. Wasn't expecting the double stack on Connector. It's going to cost him his life, but he's already done so much damage in this round, and it's going to be a clean sweep. Big, get it done. Only losing God B. That's much more of what we were looking for. That's going to put Gambit down a peg or two in terms of their finances. So solid round. Maybe Big can rinse and repeat.
Yeah, really well done. That is one of those heavy executes we're talking about. The smoke wall down on bomb train had a couple of added smokes in the mix as well. Also some good pop flashes over the smokes to allow Gambit to peek through and put any halt to a retake that Gambit was looking to roll out. So there's one around the border for Big, but they need to follow it up. Still plenty of money for Gambit, so they were able to get a buy here. Though a loss would likely lead to a save in the future, so need to be careful. Tabson looking to come out, does spot one on the edge of the smoke and grabs the entry.
Mo's putting down the damage, peeking their presence on the A side as well. Molly to the right side, not going to disturb them too much. Mo comes across, finds Bobby's head, peering up over the site, and we'll take it clean off. And the execution up. Beautiful shot by Mo again. Oh, lands onto Keeve at 4K.
Okay.
Class in Orping, 12 and 4. Beautiful plays.
Well then, that was another really heavy utility attack from Big, and it was looking pretty good. They had some great Molotovs out there, but they just never were able to silence Mo. He went off with the AWP. He had a brilliant major. Was one of the key pieces to the team. Probably had one of the best tournaments ever in the context of the prestige of the event. And he's off to a brilliant start here. Gambit up 6-1. Big still able to buy into this round with the bomb plants, but a loss here would lead to a save. That's where Gambit can really start rolling out a big lead. So certainly a lot of weight is carried by this round. We do see Big once again slowing it back down, trying to change up the playbook. They're going to let Keeve do some opping here at Ivy.
A line of defense right down the heart of the map for Gambit. No one playing aggressive. Couple players around connector side. Dozier on B by himself, although Dren not far away. Bomb's still team aim. We've seen this a couple of times now from Big. Expecting more of it in the future. The nades starting to find their way onto A site. Nothing really biting behind it though for Big. Quite a bit of utility that's been expended. They still have 3 smokes though. It's enough to execute with. "30 seconds now. Big are leaving this down to the dying embers of the round, and they haven't even pulled the trigger yet on the execute either. Now they're going to start to come out, but Mo, perfect timing on the peak's going to land himself too. And that could be more than they were looking for to just claim this round. Nex and Keeve come back with kills of their own though. Lagia's going to get up close and personal through connector. Lands a Dren from the backside, landing a second kill as well. And with 10 seconds left, the bomb's going to go down, but now Hobbit steps up to the plate and delivers the frag. Preemptively spraying through the smoke, tags up Keeve down to 44. Keeve goes back out for the pocket. And it looks like it will be going the way of Hobbit. Keeve peeks one too many times. And Gambit will take the round. It's at great cost to their economy, but the round will be theirs.
Yeah, again, Big. That execute looked a bit flat-footed because they got forced down to the late round. They threw a bit of a feint with Legia over at inner, but Mo's op still was able to come out and grab a couple of kills. It was really a great individual effort by Legia that even got them a bomb plant. Did come down to a 1v1 though in the end, so it was still dangerously close, but it is Gambit who pull it out. And now, even with the bomb plant, Big is still low on funds and is forced to take a save in this round. There is some utility on Legia, and there's a few upgraded pistols, but only Gabi has armor. Behind that Tech 9, Nex and Keeve with the glass mini cannons.
Oh, head and shoulders above the rest of either team. Big playing it slow. Again, as a result of dipping down into some Eagles without Kevlar and Tech 9s and PT50s, they do have 3 smokes to play off. He's going to have a look down ramp. It does land the headshot onto Dozier, but it's not enough to take him out right. He's on 10 instead. That may not end up mattering a great deal. He's going to turn tail and run away. Of course, the M4 at this range should prevail over the pistols anyway, even if Big did execute on B. But judging from the two players that are outside of team main, it doesn't look like that's necessarily going to be likely. I think we're going to have more of the same. More of an A-centric push. They're coming out. They've already got Fitch on top of the site. You can see over the smoke. It's not going to affect them whatsoever. Fitch with the spray. A bit wild, but finally connects. Characteristically, Mo is going to miss that shot. Won't miss it on the second time of asking. Nade's going to bank off the wall. Claims the kill onto Nex. And another round will go the way of Gambit. Like, yeah, maybe can do a little bit of damage before he falls down. He's going to be the one kill. This looked all too easy.
Yeah, I mean, that was really just banking on Big being able to get the smoke wall down on bomb train and being able to just slip in and get a plant. That was really the goal there. I mean, they didn't really have too much behind that purchase. Only one player was armored. You know, just a few upgraded pistols sprinkled around. So the goal was the plant, but Fitch getting boosted on top of the bomb train and getting over the spokes essentially hard countered what Big was going for, and that was the end of it at that point. So Gambit will go up 8-1. Big do have enough money to buy here. Keeve would have to go glass cannon again, though, if he wants an AWP. He's not had the best crack at it either. Not that anyone on Big's really particularly had a good game here.
Yeah, he has exactly enough for an AWP, but that's all. That has been a disappointing map so far for Big. I don't think there's any doubts about that coming into this. They definitely fancy their chances on train, but...
Especially after what we saw from them yesterday.
Yeah.
And they looked pretty sharp on train yesterday.
Their choice of map as well. So, after the pause, are Big going to come out swinging? They're going to continue to win. Brushed away comfortably, convincingly by Gambit. Nade's going into team 8, doing quite a good job. Flashbang's good, and the fact they don't even get a single kill out of team main is brutal. Now I'm going to take down Mo, who's picking up box halls. There'll be an AWP going across to the hands of Leggy on Big. Being inflicted. Doja comes back for a kill of his own. Keeve is still alive and in the fight. That nade has a club on his face, but he still gets the drive-by headshot with the AK-47. It's opening up this round, allowing that maybe there's a glimmer of hope. After all, a Dren caught in the middle of nowhere. By God B, he'll be sick to his stomach when he let that kill slip away. Now the ex-god himself is looking to clutch a 1-on-2. First player's gone. Oh, it's all down to God B. Has decisions, has options that are his. They both spotted each other. Now at this stage, Dozier has no idea if God B has a Molotov and if he's just going to go up for that Molotov off the door. So he's instantly gone for the smoke. Wants to make sure it doesn't become a reality. A flash down too, and may just hold down the defuse here. He's tickled it. God B is not falling for this at all. Dozier's going to have to move in. God B with the iron nerves, but he doesn't have iron legs. He's going to go down. And it's going to be very close, but I think Dozier has this.
Yep, just got it.
Another round the way of Gambit.
That was too close for comfort, though, man. I mean, I thought Gambit should have really just put that one away early. They did so good at getting that forward presence on T-Connector at the beginning of the round. Some good counter utility. They got the first 2 kills off the round. I mean, it was looking brilliant, but then Legia gets a kill in their halls. All of a sudden, Keith pops off with a couple in the outer yard, and through individual efforts alone, Big find their way back into the round and into a 1v1, but Dozier has a big round there, a hat trick, and the clutch in the one-on-one holds Big off, and so now they extend their lead even further. Big on max loss and a bomb plant, able to get a buy here. With AKs, though, taps and will be light, just the P250 again. They're trying to do something a bit faster in the outer yard, but they're being shut down for the most part by Hobbit and the Dren.
Be done in this round. Big once again will concede. 15 kills Mo, 11 Hobbit, 12 Adrent. No one's close to double digits on Big. The most they have is Legia on 7.
It's definitely been tough, man. They've really come out just flat. I mean, they had like 8 or so rounds on their T side against NIP yesterday. They were looking pretty sharp on it. They had some good mid-rounding going. They were making good rotations. They were just doing a lot of good stuff. And here, they've certainly tried different things. They've tried pacing changes. They've tried playing slow defaults. They've tried heavy utility stuff on outer, but Gambit's always had an answer for it.
Mo is just not letting up. He's relentless. He's not missing a single shot with the AWP. Of course, as I say that, Legia doesn't go down. Mo's already picked up 3 and make it a 4. Maybe just play the opposite side wherever Mo is. The guy is a god right now. Don't even try against him.
Yeah, his op has certainly been on point defending that outer yard. I mean, he's got 19 kills in the 12 rounds played, and I feel like every time they've gone outer, Mo seems to come up with the multi-frag round with the big green. Double op set up now for Big. You can see that they're kind of desperate for a T-round when they're getting a second op into Legia's hands. Feels like a last resort, doesn't it? As Keeve does silence Mo, so that's a big help.
He has been the star player. Definitely has been the main man. But it hasn't been a one-star show. Hobbit and Adren have been doing so much work as well. Couldn't say this is a guaranteed round, and there is Adren, the man in question. The leader now. They're lining them up and nearly knocking them down. Gobby was exceptionally low when the kill came through. Dozy is down next. And Hobbit's going to line up the nade. That could actually take down Gobby. Oh, it did 2 damage.
That's unreal.
Unfortunate.
CSGO nades.
Oh, that's unbelievable. I was thinking the way he lined that up, the trajectory would have taken it on Gobby, and Gobby was a dead man walking, but CS nades, you just love them sometimes, and sometimes you hate them.
Certainly a close round there, but it is Big who come up with it. Double op somehow does come through. So we just have a couple of rounds left in the half. Gambit still already have a big lead, could even make it further. Fitch getting aggressive on ladder room. When Gambit has taken forward positioning like this, Big have had a tough time finding ways to make room.
Oh, another trade. Another early trade. Not going their way. The Dren lost 8. Fitch actually lost no health out that trade. Gobby didn't hit him a single time.
And then Adren just bails Fitch out as well. You could see the chase was being sought after, and they got Fitch down low, but he still survives and gets into a new position. And so Gambit basically get a free 5-on-3. Oh, Hobbit's playing with fire over here. He's going to throw his own, actually, now in response.
Next, at least going to get the kill onto Hobbit. Slight lifeline that is being opened up. Tabsent, Dozier was pushing. They had the control of the bomb. Really surprising at that. And Mo point blank range is going to just shove the USP to the temple of Tabsent and executes him. Fitch onto Kitty. That was so awkward. Let's just forget that happened. Now next with 25 seconds is going to decapitate Fitch. But again, it's all about where the bomb currently is and where the CTs are. The chance of him clutching this is just so slim. It would have to be an epic fail from Big.
That thing was so close to falling down the ladder. My goodness, look at that.
It makes all the difference as well.
Yep.
And Nex is trying so hard to win this round, but time itself is against him. And Gambit will pick up a 12th. I feel kind of sorry for Big, because a few of these rounds have really just came down to that last few seconds, or just one trade that didn't go their way that's cost them the round, but that ultimately is Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like their T-side's definitely been a little bit lacking today in comparison to yesterday. Like, it hasn't looked nearly as crisp. Again, I think they've definitely tried the diverse playbook. Like, it hasn't been that I feel like they've been stubborn or anything like that. They're just not finding any openings. You have to give a lot of credit to Gambit, who's just playing, like, really good. Like, the teamwork on that exchange at ladder, for instance, where Fitch peeks, gets a kill, falls back, and Dren bails him out. Like, it's little things like that that really help Gambit out. The aggression for Gambit's really served them well. Another round where they get an opening kill. At least this time, Big are able to trade immediately afterwards and keep it even. But now look at Dozier. He is on a really fast flank through bathrooms.
They've definitely struggled as well with Tabson having a bit of an off game.
Yep.
It's very unlike Tabson to be rock bottom of the scoreboard. 6 and 13. The guy is an absolute monster with how much potential he has in this game. Speaking of him, he's going to take down Dozier, who went for the flank.
What in the world?
It's been such a strange round, this. Hyper aggression from Gambit being caught time and time again. Hobbit's down to 23. Like he's bomb. You can see what's going for. It's starting to backfire. It's all on Tabson. This would be a good time to step up to the plate. And there's the first. Hobbit doesn't have much health. He has to drop, but he's going to land a headshot. Gambit 13-2 half. This map could be over quick.
Yeah, it feels like the most one-sided half of CS we've seen the entire bracket. I mean, Gambit were just constantly taking it too big. I mean, I think that the aggression was just something that Big was never really able to respond to. I mean, I think that they just kind of got suffocated at times, not getting the space they wanted to maybe roll out the execute they were looking for. Obviously, having their economy reset a couple of times throughout the half certainly didn't help. Kiev never really got going with the AWP, and when you're playing slower defaults and you're trying to give him time to find openings and it's not happening for you, that's definitely a tough ask at that point of your team ever finding a lot of rounds in the half. I think that they just had kind of a lot stacked against them. Just good play out of Big. I mean, Mo was just such a boss at defending outer yard with the AWP, and he wasn't alone in it. Adren also was having a pretty big game. They're also always getting a lot of information from Dozier's flank center halls. I mean, even if Dozier wasn't getting all the kills, or even if he was getting caught, at least he was able to relay what was going on. They were able to stack outer even more on those situations.
Here we go. Half 2 of the first map. Big choice of map. And they've been comprehensively dealt with by Gambit. Very important pistol. Gambit lose this, they still have so many opportunities to close out the map. But he's going to try and put the best foot forward. Headshots being delivered 2-1 in favor of Big so far. Over at the site of CTs and got B. Take out Mo. Down goes Dozier and down goes Hobbit. First round of this half has been a convincing one. But again, there is zero room for error.
And Big certainly still have a long road to travel to get back into this one. They are still well outside striking distance. I mean, Gambit aren't feeling anything at all. They will go ahead and get the force out here with the upgraded pistols and armor on everyone. Dozier has a smoke, a flash on Fitch. We'll see what they want to do. Looks like they're doing something very similar to their pistol round, just kind of spreading the map and maybe looking to split this outer bomb site. Hope that maybe the smoke can allow them to maybe fit in the bomb plant somehow, but Hobbit's already been spotted out ladder. He's taking some damage.
Gambit deciding that they're going to keep 2 players, Ivy. Mo, who originally was joining the rest of his team over there, well, those 2 players, I should say, is now maneuvering his way to the bomb, which is over in the box walls.
Interesting. Backhall's enter split coming in.
He's going to get caught. He threw a nade out to the top of the line. And 50 from Dozier. Things are starting to get real sketchy real quick now for Big. Hot off winning the pistol. This would pretty much be the map over. Bomb planted on B. Got B coming round the back of Pop Dog. And Tabson through connector. The thing is that flank is going to get flanked as well by Dozier. And Hobbit's gone up close and personal with the UMP. So even if God B comes out onto the site and lands the frag from behind, the chances are that Dozier takes him out instantly after. But God B, his spidey senses were tingling and he's like, nope, I could be getting flanked right now. Don't want any part of this round anyway.
I wonder if that was more just him trying to save the gun and just happened to catch Dozier on the way. Either way, though, it is a round to Gambit, and he's just trying to hold on to what he can, and it looks like he won't be able to. I don't know, is that spammable? Yep.
That is tilt. You're already getting smashed 14-3 on your map, and you get cheekily wall bang like that. Takes your weapon away.
Have you ever even seen someone die there in your life? Yeah, I don't think so either. That particular spam.
Can't say I have. There's not really been much to get hype about this game. It's been as one-sided as the scoreline suggests. Absent. Lone defender on B. Legia has a scout on connector now. Absent's going to see action. Just a matter of time. Very good with the D. There's the first. And a second as well. How are people not hearing that he's right below them? Maybe they're so preoccupied with like the scout that they're not realizing the damage below them, but now it's all on Mo. There's 2 kills. He's on 17 health now. The plant will go down. Doesn't get picked on the cross either.
Oh.
Did he just spot Legia? Nades. He's not going to finish him off with the spray. Will got beat from the backside though. Will claim the kill. The thing is, for Big, they're still in a really bad position in terms of their money. I wonder if this will force Gambit into a buy. They're in no great rush. They have a massive buffer of rounds, of course.
Yeah, I think they just know if they reset Big again after forcing the rebuy on 4 players that they could pretty much put this one away. So that could tempt them to go for an early buy here. But as you noted, they have so much breathing room. They could easily take their time and make sure they have full money in the next round. That's exactly what they'll do. They'll get a couple of Eagles out there, so they'll give themselves a chance to pose a threat. Some 250s are also involved, but it is the focus on future rounds, not really this one.
For the time being, Gambit aren't going to be looking for any aggressive plays. Trying to pick off where they can with the Eagles. Spamming through with the B250. No one's home on Ivy. Back towards the site. Incendiary is ruined some of the plans that Gambit had if they wanted to come out of Pop Dog. Instantly forced Fitch back up the staircase, or the ladders, I should say. Get found out, picked off. Next in prime position to strike alongside Key and Bob B. And there we have it. It's only Dozier that answers back with the kill of his own.
Yeah, so really weren't expecting a whole hell of a lot out of that round, given that Gambit didn't really invest anything into it. So harm, no foul on that round loss, but this is what they were saving up for. This moment here to see if they can't go ahead and push this to a map point scenario. They will have AKs across the board. They won't have an AWP for Mo, but they will have plenty of utility to kind of get whatever it is done that they feel is best. Again, Gambit has a tendency to be very enter-execute focused. At least that's what their history has been when Zeus was calling for them. Very simple stuff a lot of the time, but they can also play slow defaults, of course, and Dozier, of course, gonna put that AK to use at Ivy, and that will give them kind of just a free pick to work with now, as we do see some utility from Hobbit into the Interbomb site. Counter incendiary from Big to try to stop a lower ramp push for now. At least stall Gambit out.
They finally have some kind of momentum, and then Dozier just smashes him through the smoke.
He is the X-God after all, so smashing is his thing.
Sure is. Now, however, Big have to try and fill in the gap that's been created. Good. Fitch with 2. He had great entry, fragging power yesterday when we were casting him. He doesn't seem to be slowed down since then. Through the smoke onto Legia. A one-man army in this round was Fitch. Absent. He's trying to live up to that task as well, but it won't be happening. 10 map points for Gambit here on Big's choice of terrain.
Yeah, again, Gambit certainly no strangers to playing slower defaults underneath the tutelage of Zeus, and that's what they went for on that round, and I think they were disgraced by having so many picks go their way, particularly Dozier's at the beginning. Really helped things along, and now Big have to march 10 in a row to force extra rounds. Are no strangers to overtime. They played an OT on this very map against NIP yesterday and won it. This is a lot different, especially with Next trying to get aggressive Ivy and being caught. Legia lingering around looking to do the exact same thing, and he will come up with one, but Dozia trades it right back. And so, again, early action at Ivy. Dozia being the victor of it. Will Gambit use the punch through the final round will be the question now, as they have a pretty early 4-on-3 to work with. Gonna really stretch that defense thin.
Utility is bust. Everything stacking against them. Gambit on the brink of taking them out. One more kill may do it, and if it happens to be Tabson on B, there's a bomb planted. However, Keith is making inroads through connector. Lobby's getting round the back of A. This is information. There's going across. Tabson close range with the Hamas. Goes in for 2 kills. Keeping that dream alive. Being tagged up from the left-hand side of Catwalk, though. And now suddenly it's all on Keith. He has the bomb ahead of him. And with 30 seconds left, he knows they have to come to him. He also knows that 2 players were last spotted on this side. And it's so intelligent to go up on this train. It forces him to different angles. There's the first. And spin around, and Dozia will